Wasted World of Sports, ahoy! How's everybody doing? And welcome back for some more Big Bash. Excuse me, the second microphone was on for a moment there. Wasted World of Sports live on YouTube, live on TikTok, and sometimes live on Facebook to bring you all the sporting action from Australia and beyond. I say beyond because you probably heard the rumors, Australia doesn't exist. What they're saying. But anyway, I digress. Let's have just one stream that doesn't devolve into government conspiracies. So welcome along. The Big Bash continues. It's the Brisbane Heat, the defending champions. My team are finally taking the pitch. And we'll see how they go. I'm a little bit concerned about this season overall. I don't know that they're going to be able to go back-to-back. It's always a tough ask, isn't it, to go back-to-back in the best of scenarios, but some fresh news right off the bat. Now, if you joined the previous Big Bash games here on the channel, you'll know that my concerns around the Brisbane Heat this season are a perceived lack of depth in the batting stakes. I think the bowling's going to be absolutely fine. Solid-looking bowling lineup, but I'm a little bit concerned about the depth of the batting. And so the big news right off the bat for this one is no Colin Munro tonight. And no Spencer Johnson. Spencer Johnson, who is one of their best bowlers, will be out of this game. I'm guessing ruled out with injury. So I'm a little bit concerned that the perceived lack of batting depth for the Heat that I think they possess, it's now just been highlighted even more with Colin Munro not playing, and the strength of their bowling attack has taken a big hit because it's not just Spencer Johnson who's out. They've lost another one as well. Another one of their bowlers will be sitting out tonight. In my opinion, that combined with the fact that the Melbourne Stars have already got a game under their belt. Okay, it was a losing effort for the Stars last time out. They didn't lose by a lot, but they've already had a hit out. This is the first game for the Brisbane Heat. So a combination of those two things, the players absent for the Heat, the Stars, they've already had a warm-up. I am just leaning towards the Stars tonight. I hate to back against my own team, but I just think away from home, their first game, and the outs, Colin Munro's a big out for that batting lineup that, as I said, is fairly fragile. And Spencer Johnson is just a massive loss for the bowling attack. They've still got a solid enough bowling attack, and they'll still take wickets. They'll still put pressure on the Melbourne Stars. But whenever a team is losing players, it does make for a bit of a big ask. So there we go. I've got the Melbourne Stars winning this one, potentially still a close one. I hope a close one, because, boy, we've had some exciting games to start the Big Bash season for 2024/2025. And, of course, capped off with that brilliant one last night. That was so much fun. That game last night. Daniel Sams. Boy, I wish we had a Daniel Sams in the Brisbane Heat lineup somewhere. That was absolutely incredible. The display of hitting that he put on at the back end there when all looked lost. It looked beyond lost at the time for the Sydney Thunder, and then Daniel Sams, not for the first time, mind you, pulled it out of the bag. So welcome along, Wasted World of Sports. Of course, if you are new to the channel, we cover all the rugby league action. The NRL 2025 season will be coming up next year, of course. Super Rugby, we'll be doing a lot more of that in 2025. We cover all the rugby internationals. And for the very first time, we've started covering some regular cricket as well, starting with the Big Bash, and then who knows where it might lead from there. There's bound to be some big T20 tournament happening next year. Surely. There always is. That's my only criticism of cricket. I do love my cricket. It's just, there's so much of it, right? So much of it. Every country now, it feels like, every participating cricket country, anyway, has their big version of the IPL. Like, we've got the Big Bash here in Australia. There's the Caribbean leagues. There's the South African League, which is picking up steam. So there's just so much cricket on. There's the ICC Champions Trophy, which is what it feels like it's every year. And now there's the T20 World Cup that's every other year. And yeah, there really is just a lot of cricket. It's that old adage, right? That old adage of, how can I miss you if you won't go away? How can I miss cricket if there's so much of it? But anyway, I digress. That's neither here nor there. It is what it is. It's not like I have to watch all of them. And I don't. So we'll be very selective with the games that we do. But yes, this is the first time that we're committed to covering an entire tournament. D-Funk, Ahoy mate, over there on the YouTube chat, and Gina Ferracini. Good to see you and hear you. Almost 2025. I don't mind cricket. Oh, you should have said, if only you said, I don't like cricket, then I could have broken into song. If you know the song, you know. Over on the TikTok there, Jace, ahoy, mate. Who have I got winning? Just very quickly. Very quickly, I've gone for the Melbourne Stars. I did an in-depth analysis of the pre-game, which basically outlined my reason for that being the outs for the Brisbane Heat. No Spencer Johnson, no Colin Munro. It's going to weaken both their batting lineup, which is already fragile, and it's going to weaken their bowling lineup dramatically. Spencer Johnson was probably their leading bowler. So he is a big out. The Brisbane Heat are my team. Disappointing that they're under strength here going into this one. And a combination of that with their first hit out, the Melbourne Stars have already had a hit out. It was a losing effort for them, of course, but they'll just be a little bit more battle-hardened, I think, in this one. Very concerned for my team going into this game, but we'll see. The Heat have won the bat flip, and they've elected to field first, which is probably the right probably the right idea. I think that's probably the right idea, yes. Although, I can tell you... no, I can't tell you. I thought that the prior match stats there were specifically in order of who batted first, but they're not. As the home side, the Melbourne Stars on their way out to the middle. Hilton Cartwright, by the way. Hilton Cartwright has been cleared of any serious injury, which is fantastic. Very good news there. For those who might have missed the opening game, the Melbourne Stars were playing in that, and Hilton Cartwright took a dive along the boundary, leading with his left arm, boom, straight down into the turf, and he ended up being stretchered off in a neck brace. Really worrying signs there, but he has been cleared of any serious injury. He's all good. He's out there playing tonight. Hilton Cartwright is all good, so that's good news for the Melbourne Stars. Matt Renshaw on the mic. He'll be important, crucial for the Heat's chances with the bat. But yes, some unfortunate outs. Could just be a bridge too far. We'll see. Joe Clark, who let me down with my same game multi in the opening match. I don't think he'll miss out twice. Look for him for at least 10 plus in this one. And Tom Rogers down the other end. Tom Rogers was controlling the innings in that opening game before he threw it away. And Xavier Bartlett will be opening the bowling. Brisbane Heat versus the Melbourne Stars. Let's go. Xavier Bartlett with the ball. And what can they come up with here? Can the Heat win against the odds? Brisbane Heat have won the bat flip and they've elected to field first, putting the home side into bat. Clark on strike. Bartlett is angling this one away. Outside off stump. It's been let through. Just letting a sighter through there. Joe Clark. Enzo, ahoy mate. Welcome back. The defending champions, the Brisbane Heat. Bartlett in again for his second ball. Clark. It's outside off again, and he has a slash at this one. Finds the gap. Out to backward point for a single. They come back for a second. That's all good, Enzo. Enzo on the TikTok has said sorry he couldn't stick around last night. But boy, what a finish it was indeed. An absolute cracker of a game last night. Daniel Sams putting on a clinic when all looked lost. So two wide ones outside off, and that one's a lot straighter. But the same result, Clark just turns the face of the bat. They look for a second. Just in behind backward point. Whoops, nearly spilt my drink. In behind backward point there for another two. And a controlled start here for Joe Clark and the Stars. So the Brisbane Heat have had some pretty key outs in their lineup, Enzo. Hence why I've ended up going for the Melbourne Stars, the home side tonight. Halfway through the first over, Bartlett drifts onto the legs. Just a little bit and just patted down there from Clark for a single to mid-on. No real damage done. Won't want to be drifting onto the legs too much. Yeah, I'm very concerned. Brisbane Heat fan, obviously. We've talked about it before. I'm certain in previous streams. There's Bartlett with 2 deliveries left. Straight to the left-handed Rogers. Can't beat the inner circle. A la 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 long. Inner circle. Anybody? Did anybody understand that reference, or did I just horribly age myself? Last ball of the opening over. Not a bad one from Bartlett. And a swing and a miss from Rogers. He had a big hoik at that one. And that's the line and length. Bartlett, it took him 6 deliveries to find it, but he's on song now. Big swing and a miss from Rogers. And a steady start for both sides. None for 5 after the first. Reeves, Hanara. Swepson over 1.5 wickets at 262 is a very good bet. I've also gone for Joe Clark, 10 plus runs. Marcus Stoinis to hit a 6. Maxi Bryant to hit a 6 as well, incidentally. NRL Vintage 07 says, what's my favourite sport to cover? I think my favourite sport to commentate on is rugby league. My favourite sport to watch, which you haven't asked me, you've only asked me which my favourite one is to cover, is Mike Whitney. Mike Whitney's into the bowling attack. All right, I know it's not Mike Whitney. Please tell me, hey, if you want to feel old, please tell me that this is not Mike Whitney's kid. Oh, for the love of God. This happens to me in the rugby league as well, when it's like everybody who I grew up watching, it's all their sons playing now. I'll have to look that up when there's a little break in play. Is this some relation to Mike Whitney? If it is, he didn't get his dad's curly hair. A ramp shot here from Clark over the top of slips for 4. Well played there. Whitney drops it in a little short. And it's scooped over the slip cordon there for Clark, who moves to 9 runs. All of the Melbourne Stars runs so far. No, his name is definitely not Mike Whitney even. His name is Tom Whitney. Hey Siri, is Tom Whitney related to Mike Whitney? Driven straight back down the ground over the bowler's head. I didn't really get any conclusive answers there from Siri. None for 11 here, the Stars. Solid enough start. Stoinis will hit a 6 today. Yeah, I reckon Stoinis and Maxi Bryant. Pretty much dead set certs for 6 hits. Fuller delivery outside off, guided away from Clark. Joe Clark is looking in sublime form, and it's out to the deep point boundary. Well saved in the outfield. They'll come back for a second or a third. 3 runs. Joe Clark missed out in the opening game. He's looking well and truly in control. And this comes back to what I was talking about at the top of the stream. How I reckon already having that hit out. This is the Brisbane Heat's first game. The Melbourne Stars have already had a hit out. Joe Clark has made, for example, Joe Clark, he's made his mistake. Well, what's going on here? The umpires are converging. And they've had a very quick chat. There was something going on with the ball there, potentially. Can I age myself again? Mike Whitney, Tanya Zayeda. What was the show? Who knows? In the chat room. Mike Whitney, Tanya Zayeda. If you answer correctly, you win my respect. See you, Tenawisicorn. Ahoy there. So a little bit of a stop in play there. I've got no idea what just happened. The umpires converged. They had the briefest of brief chats. And everybody's just wandered back to position. The Stars are none for 14 here, and it's been all Joe Clark, 14 off 8. 2 left in the over for Whitney. It's wide outside off. And Rogers tries to lift it over the onside. It was too far out outside off stump for that shot. But he still manages a single, and he's off the mark, Rogers. A contribution at last. Final delivery of Whitney's first over. And it's drifted onto the legs, and it's just been lifted away from Clark. And he is looking very good. Down to long leg for 4. Drifted onto the pads. Whipped away. XJC, ahoy, mate. You gave yourself up. You see what you did there. Solid start, this one, for the Melbourne Stars. Some loose bowling from the Heat. And it's none for 19. 2 overs gone. It's Joe Clark doing all the damage. Bartlett back for his second. None for 5 off his first over. Edged and gone. Well, that's a beautiful line and length. That was the fullest of his deliveries so far. And Rogers, a very lazy little hang of the bat there. And it claims the edge through to the keeper. And the Brisbane Heat get the breakthrough. A peach of a delivery, as they say. It's on Channel 7, Reeves. Channel 7, free to air, and it is also on KO Sports. That is the beautiful thing about BBL 14, is the commitment from Channel 7 to air all the games on free-to-air television. It's like it's like NRL. Take note, right? Take note. You can still have pay TV and put free-to-air coverage on at the same time. And it's not going to ruin you. Sam Harper to the crease. Tom Rogers, he just never really got moving today. And now Harper has a big slash at this outside off stump. And Xavier Bartlett seems to be the one that's taken the reins here for the Heat bowling attack. As we said, no Spencer Johnson. So that really does make Xavier Bartlett the leader of the pack. One for 19. Bartlett, ball drifting into the pads this time. Swing and a miss again from Harper. Can't make contact with it at the moment. Yeah, great question, the Horseman. All that we know is that Colin Munro and Spencer Johnson both ruled out of this game. But they've not actually mentioned why. I'll see if I can find anything out at all. A ramp here from Harper. One bounce and over the rope. Down a deep fine leg. And that's just broken the shackles a little bit this over. Because he was named, that's the thing, Brisbane Heat lineup. When the teams were named initially, he was in it. Let's see if I can find something else. It just says ruled out. Doesn't say why. Swing and a miss again from Harper. So the ramp shot has sort of become a traditional T20 cricket shot anyway. But Harper, 4 deliveries, and the only one he's made contact with is the ramp shot. When he's trying to play a traditional shot, he's missed every single time. Here we go. Colin Munro has been ruled out late after reporting hamstring tightness, aiming for a return at the Gabba this Sunday, the 22nd of December. Tom Alsop as Harper hits this one well. It's over, not quite over the fence. But it did beat the infield. And they'll come back for a couple. Tom Alsop, also a late withdrawal due to a quad complaint, awaiting further assessment. Spencer Johnson, a toe injury. Michael Nessa, a hamstring, currently recovering from injuries and making strong progress. So there you go. That is a lot of outs for the Brisbane Heat tonight. And honestly, the only reason why I haven't tipped them. Otherwise, Brisbane Heat are my team. I would have been all in. But that's a lot of outs to overcome. Wasted World of Sports, of course, we do have a free Big Bash tipping comp active at the moment on tipping.cricket.com.au. And I'll grab the join code for everybody in a break in play as Kuhneman comes into the bowling attack. And these could be the key overs. He rips it in, Kuhneman, and Clark cuts it away. Won't make it to the fence. They'll come back for a second, though. So Joe Clark looks like he's the man in form here for the Stars. Hellfire, Paintball, Salt Ash, New South Wales, Australia. Tim, ahoy there, mate. Merry Christmas. Cheers. Most wickets by spinners in the BBL 13. Mitch, Swepson, and Kuhneman both feature in that list. As Clark steps away from the stumps onto the back foot. And he just rips this one out through mid-wicket. They come back for a second. One for 29. 3.3 overs gone. Yeah, they're just traveling along at the moment, the Stars. They need some help for Joe Clark is what they need. Kuhneman in again. Gets onto the pads. Just the single. The gaming channel, XJC, will start at some point early next year because I'm not going to have anything else to do. I'll be bored. So I'll likely just be playing video games myself. I may as well stream them. So very likely early next year. Two deliveries left. Oh, a false start there from Kuhneman. Two deliveries left. Kuhneman's first over. 5 offered so far. Harper steps way back from the stumps. Cuts it away, but can't beat the circle fielders. A quick single taken, though. .09 is the run rate at the moment, which has been the slowest we've seen in the BBL 14 thus far. Kuhneman drops it in a little shorter, and it's pulled away into the gap. It won't make it to the fence. Bartlett taps it back in field. And Drew's there to fire it back to the bowler's end. An easy 2 there for the batsman. But this is the slowest run rate out of the 4 games. So, well, this is the 4th. But of the 4 games so far, easily the slowest run rate for the team batting first. We've seen ridiculous run rates to open up. I mean, really, teams going for upwards of 13 and over in those opening 4 overs. So a slow and steady start comparatively here for the Stars, but 8.2 is still decent enough going. They'll be disappointed with the wicket, of course. It was great bowling, though, that bagged that wicket, Xavier Bartlett. And it's Prestwich coming into the bowling attack. Will Prestwich. Four overs gone, so the fielding restrictions are lifted. It's wide outside off stump. And Harper cuts at it and misses. We've always talked about how you can't really judge a pitch until both teams have batted, but it is interesting that everybody but Joe Clark, everybody but Joe Clark at the moment, seems to be struggling to make contact with these balls. So many swings and misses. Really is interesting to see. Prestwich in again. Off the outside edge for 4. Well fielded, actually, down there at third man. If he has done it, he's hurt his knee. Now, that actually does bring up another topic of conversation. We've seen in every game so far somebody get injured diving in the outfield. Let's see if that continues tonight. I mean, hopefully not. Third man comes racing around here. Eyes on the ball, always does tap it back in field, and he scuffs up the turf there. That's why he was sort of limping away. His knees just dug into the turf. And a very good effort down there on the boundary. If he's managed to save a 4. And he has. Fantastic effort. Oh, it's been called a 4. Well, there we go. I take it all back. No, it was still a good effort. As Harper takes a couple of steps over to the leg offside, opens up his leg side, and he ramps this over the keeper's head for 6. And again, just a rather non-traditional shot. 64 meters over the keeper's head for 6. And if I'm not mistaken, might be the first 6 of the evening, that one. Cut away. And they'll come back for a second. Harper starting to just get into his work now. 1 for 45. Things starting to look a little bit nicer now off the back of that 6. You don't really think about momentum in cricket the same way that we think and talk about momentum in rugby league, say. But it's a real thing. Inside edge, past the stumps and through the keeper. And they had a deep, fine leg back there for that very moment, specifically. And it'll just be a single. That could easily have gone back onto the stumps. Unlucky there for Prestwich. 13 off the over so far. One delivery left. Clark on strike. And a slash outside off stump. Swing and a miss. This is absolutely incredible. The amount of swings and misses on these traditional cricket shots. That's very interesting. The Brisbane Heat batsmen will be watching this very, very closely. Traditional shots out the window tonight, perhaps. All the damage is being done off ramps. It really is quite fascinating stuff. 1 for 46 it is anyway after 5 overs. A solid foundation. They haven't been going as excuse me. They haven't been going as quick as the other teams that we've seen so far in the Big Bash, but a very solid start despite that wicket. Michelle, Ahoy there. And Swepson's into the bowling attack. Talk about some key overs. Do they just see off Swepson or do they go after him? They'll race through the overs now, the Heat, with Swepson out there bowling. 2 dot balls to start. Harper not able to get it through. Backward point there. Down the pitch and just fending it back to Swepson. 3 dot balls. And maybe my question has been answered. They could just be... They might have just decided we'll treat Swepson with the respect he deserves as he drifts onto the legs a little bit here. They think about pushing for 2 out to square leg there, but just the 1 run. Just playing Swepson. Tom Rogers was the man who got out. Max, he never looked comfortable out there tonight. Conversely, Joe Clark looking very composed out there. 25 or 15. 26 now as he just turns this one down to long on for a single. But yeah, Tom Rogers, he didn't stick around for all that long and he never looked comfortable. Harper steps back to give himself room. Has a big swing at it. And gets a little bottom edge. Straight down into the pitch and back to Swepson. A good over from Swepson first up. Just the 2 runs from it. Are we in for another crazy finish? Asks Michelle. I hope so. I really, really hope so. I don't think it'll be a finish like we got last night. Let me just put it that way. That was insane last night. It was such a moment to be part of. It's going to be very, very hard for the Brisbane Heat to get up here, though, with all the injury absences. They're under strength, Michelle. They're under strength. Different sport, I still get to say it. They're under strength here tonight. Kuhneman back in for his second over. Drifts onto the legs. He needs to straighten those up a bit. Turned away to deep square leg for 1. Clark goes to 27 off 17. Harper, 21 off 16. The run rate's just dropped under 8. But we'll see some big hitting from Stoinis. And a ramp from Harper. Over the top of the keeper, racing back for it. I think, Mike Whitney's down there, but they can't cut it off. And that'll be 4. Another ramp shot. It's absolutely incredible what we're seeing tonight. The batsmen are really struggling to get clean contact of traditional cricket shots. But they are ramping the utter bollocks off the balls. And getting great reward from it. 5 off the tournament over so far, and a traditional cut shot there from Harper, and it's a swing and a miss. This is amazing. The Heat batsmen will be looking at this, as I said, just wondering what the hell's going on. Marching down the pitch, Clark just fends it away to long on for a single. 6 off the over. Mr. Barton. Ahoy there, sir. Go the Heat. I'm not watching. I just know your opinion on Brisbane teams. I go for the Brisbane Heat. We've obviously never had this conversation. Yeah, the Brisbane Heat are like the only local team that I go for. Down the pitch and slashing away onto the offside for a single. Harper moves to 27. That sort of came out of nowhere. We'll have this conversation on Saturday, shall we? Yes. Not much of a conversation, however, really. I pretty much gave it away already. The Brisbane Heat are the only Brisbane team that I go for. The only... Oh, actually, no, that's not true. I've actually just completely stood here and lied to you all. I also go for the Brisbane Bandits in the baseball. So I've got 2 Brisbane teams that I go for. There you go. I can't believe I stood here and just bold-faced lied to you all. Yeah, 2 Brisbane teams I go for. The Brisbane Heat in the T20 and the Brisbane Bandits in the baseball. And the Bandits are off to an absolute stinker of a start to this baseball season, by the way. So I might have to reconsider. 1 for 56. 7.2 overs gone. And just, it's interesting to see as Swepson tosses it up. And Harper says, I'll have a piece of that. But just the single out to deep point. Short ball. Very square at the wicket on the offside there. Deep point. Picks it up. Swepson's out there looking like the long-lost G brother. Cut away again. Just the single. They've got protection out there, the Brisbane Heat. And, Mitch Swepson G keeping it very tight here. Last ball of his second over. Beautifully bowled. And just punching this down the ground along off. Just the one. None for 6 off his opening 2 overs. 8 overs gone here, 1 for 60. And things just slowing down for the Melbourne Stars. Good bowling from the Brisbane Heat spinners. Oh, and here's a replay of Hilton Cartwright in the opening game against the Scorchers. This is what we were talking about earlier. Every single game so far of BBL 14, there has been an injury diving in the outfield. That was most definitely the worst of them. I mean, the worst looking one. At least he's been cleared of any significant injury, and he's all good now, Hilton Cartwright. But it's incredible that there's been every single game at least one injury in the outfield. Big Paul Walter into the bowling attack. Clark pulls it fine, but amazing fielding in the outfield there. Saves a 4. Prestwich Supermaning across the boundary there. Saved a certain 4. Joe Clark still looks in fine form. He could be the one to target here for the Brisbane Heat, the one that they need to get out. Exactly, Michelle. He's not concerned at all about injury. Although, in fairness to Prestwich, once Spencer Johnson is back from injury, he's not going to see a lot of game time anyway, so he may as well put his body on the line out there and do everything possible to impress while he's got this rare opportunity. But yes, Prestwich certainly had no concern about injury there, that's for sure. 8.2 overs gone. 7.56 the run rate, just hovering around that 7 to 8 region. Harper pulls this one away. 1, 2, bounces through deep mid-wicket for 4. Now that is Harper's best shot of the day. Every other boundary, every other clean hit from Sam Harper, it's been his ramp shot. But that was the purest of pure. And now he gives himself room, top edges it. Beats the infield, though. It's over the top of the circle, and they'll come back for 2. They might have just decided to get a little bit of a move along here. The Stars, as we're approaching the 10-over mark. Now, this raises an interesting question. We saw the Sydney Thunder. The Sydney Thunder last night, in my opinion, completely ballsed up the use of the power surge. And another ramp. And a swing and a miss from Harper this time. One more delivery left in this Paul Walter over. But yes, the power surge. I think the Sydney Thunder made a complete mess of it last night. The Melbourne Stars, they've got 2 set batsmen in. Clark, 31 off 21. Harper, 37 off 28. They will surely not hang around too much after the 10-over mark before they call that power surge. And again, a cut shot, swing and a miss to finish the over with a dot ball. 9 overs gone, 1 for 69. Oh, why did I didn't do it on purpose, I swear. There's just something about saying 69 where you essentially just have to say it creepily. It's just an unwritten rule. The Horseman on TikTok says, has Lynn Senety lost his mojo? Or too early to say? I think, well, it's a little too... Short answer, it's too early to say. Lynn Senety definitely lost his mojo after so many years at the Brisbane Heat, I think the change of scenery to the strikers was probably the best thing for his career. It rejuvenated him, and he was one of the best batsmen in the Big Bash again once he moved. Obviously, got off to a bad start. God damn it! I keep dropping it. It's been one game. I wouldn't be writing him off just yet. Certainly, after one innings, I wouldn't be forming too much of an opinion on him. Because I mean, not only is that just the nature of T20 cricket. I mean, look, Clark got out for 8, I think. Joe Clark got out for 8 in the opening game. Now here he is in game 2, 32 off 22. I mean, it's just the nature of cricket. You can't go out and hit 100 off 20 balls every night. Top edge. Down towards third man. Well saved on the boundary, but they come back for a third. One for 73. "54 runs or 43 deliveries. This partnership is Mike Whitney, and again, and that will be it. Clark's on his way. Well, wouldn't you know? I've just talked him up. The one batsman out there that I specifically pinpointed and said he was bad last time out and he's doing well tonight. He's just hauled out to mid-off. Straight down mid-off's throat. Didn't get hold of it at all. And Big Paul Walter didn't even have to get on his tippy toes there. He's about 9 foot tall, Paul Walter. It's going to take a big shot to get over his head. And Joe Clark, caught by Paul Walter, bowled Mike Whitney. The Stars lose their second wicket. Commentators curse again. It seems to strike a lot in the cricket. I might have said Paul Walker, ex-JC. Who knows? We all know how I am with names. I love a good nickname. I mean, I am very specifically calling Tom Whitney Mike on purpose, so if I slipped in a Paul Walker there for for Big Paul Walter, it wouldn't be the strangest thing ever that's happened on this channel. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, commentator's curse is actually going to be a specific topic of conversation with the old Panther early in 2025 when the Generations podcast returns. And I've already been doing some researching some video content for it. And honestly, it's so easy to find source material from cricket. It's a little bit more difficult to find the commentator's curse in the footy. But commentator's curse abounds everywhere. There's so much of it to find on YouTube from the cricket. Probably my favorite, as there's just a little bit of a break here as the new man comes out. And it is Marcus Stoinis, the man with the most punchable face in the Big Bash. Starts with an outside edge, down to third man for 1. He's off the mark. Oh, he did he run? Yes, he did. I was going to say, they did come through for a single there. No way, says Michelle. It's David Warner. David Weenie Warner. I have a rule where I won't punch anybody smaller than me. So that rules David Warner out, you see. They could time those a lot better, couldn't they? Those channel changes are so painful. Last ball of Mike Whitney's over, and it's down leg side. Will it be called a wide? Yes, it is. He's got to have another ball. And this run rate has just hovered around the 7 to 8 mark this whole innings. That run rate for the Stars is like watching a crypto chart at the moment. Right before a bull run. Could mean good things for the Stars in that case. Mike Whitney, the last ball of his second over. And the end of the 10th over, it's 2 for 76. Time for me to have a quick break. Quarter of the way through this one. Be right back. Halfway through the innings, and Kuhneman back into the attack. No multi tonight, Michelle. No. When I mean, I wasn't even taking the piss out of all the injuries. Like when the Brisbane Heat are missing like 5 players, and when there's that many unknown commodities out there for one of the teams, I'm not touching it. I'm not going anywhere near it. Cutaway, looking for 2. And well run there. Harper approaching his 50. Three deliveries left here for Kuhneman. Again, cut away to the offside. Another single. .4 overs for Kuhneman. None for 21. Not bad. You know what? I would have had Swepson for 2+ wickets. That's not looking likely at the moment. I think they've decided they're just going to see Swepson off. He's the big threat, I guess, in the Heat bowling attack. So the Stars are just seeing him off, it would appear. 2 for 82. 10.5 overs gone. Kuhneman floats this one up. Harper gives himself some room, gives himself a little too much room, and he swings and misses. He's out for 46. Tournament with a big breakthrough. It takes the top of leg stump, and that is a big wicket at a very big time, because now the Stars have got two fresh batsmen out there, 11 overs gone, and that will seriously make them reconsider the power surge. What an absolute key moment in time for a wicket for the Heat. Massive. Absolutely massive. Tournament with the big breakthrough. And here he comes, Hilton Cartwright. Well and truly recovered. .45 the run rate, 3 for 82 after 11 overs. The Stars just haven't quite got going. As Whitney draws Stoinis into a shot. He tries to pull it over the top of mid-on. Didn't quite get hold of it. He'll come back for a second, though. Stoinis, 4 from 4. So, yes, it will be interesting to see what happens now with the power surge. Whitney in again. Stoinis just tries to guide it away through backward point. Can't beat the field. Stoinis tries to take this from outside off onto the leg side, but he can't make clean contact now. This has really been the order of the day for the batsman, not being able to really get the pace of the deliveries. Three deliveries left for Whitney. Stoinis tries to go uppishly played past mid-off. He does get it through. Only just, though, big Paul Walter diving away to his left. Couldn't get it into the big mitt. But they are drawing some shots out of Stoinis, and they won't be all that upset about this at the moment, the Heat. Stoinis is not at all making clean contact. He got that one to the boundary, but it was not convincing, and they won't be all that unhappy about seeing him on the drive. This time, Stoinis just pats it away to the offside for a single. One for 28 off 2.5 for Mike Whitney. William Hunt, ahoy! And Renshaw races up into the slips. Interesting. A slip in for a T20 game. Whitney with his last ball. In swinger. Almost beats Whitney. Cartwright. Almost beats Cartwright. And it's a dot ball to finish. Whitney 1 for 28 off 3. The Stars just finding it hard going at the moment. But we're not going to judge the pitch at all until both teams have batted. I don't know whether the ball's just not coming onto the bats or what, but yeah, the Stars' batsmen really struggling to make any sort of clean contact. I mean, even Stoinis is out there struggling to get clean hits in. And you don't really see that all that too often. Projected score at the current run rate is 149. I mean, what I've said every single stream of the Big Bash so far is you want to get at least 140 as Stoinis pulls it away. There's a lot of protection out there, though, for the Heat. And they'll come back for an easy 2. 3 for 91. Approaching the 100. So, yeah, you want to get at least 140. 140 is something to bowl at. Might not be the greatest score in the world, but it's something to have a bowl at. Something for your bowlers to defend. Walter drags this one in short. Stoinis on the pull again. Once again, not clean contact. But it's safe along the ground. Just one. Big Paul Walter, none for 12 off his 1.2 overs. Three for 92 here, the Stars. Oh, geez. They might take the surge next over. 13 or 14. Stoinis and Cartwright have got to... Well, Stoinis, 10 deliveries, should have his eye in by the next over. Four off the first 3 balls. Stoinis steps back to give himself some room. And he just flat bats this all the way over the long on fence. 6 runs. And maybe that might only be their second 6 of the innings. Big hit there from Stoinis. All right. That definitely brings us closer to the power surge. Drops it in short. Stoinis straight down the ground, and it's 6 more. Stoinis has well and truly got his eye in now. And the Stars will get a move along. One more over. I reckon they'll give Hilton Cartwright a few more deliveries. And then the over after that, the power surge will be taken. Stoinis well and truly got the sighters in now. Last delivery for Walter. Ball and on the stumps and well fended back. No run. He ends with a dot ball, but 16 runs from it. 3 for 105 here. The Stars get back up above 8. Stoinis with back-to-back 6s in that over. Yes, I reckon it's still just a little bit too early for Hilton Cartwright, unless they call the surge. And Hilton Cartwright's first mission is just take a single, put Stoinis back on strike. But I think they might just give Hilton Cartwright another over here to get his eye in. And they'll open the power surge the following over when Stoinis is likely to be on strike. Swepson, but yes, okay, Swepson back into the bowling attack. Cartwright on strike. Just giving him another over here to get his eye in. Cuts this away for a single. "13 overs gone. 3 for 106. "150, 160 could be the score here. Stoinis guides it to the offside, just a single. They'll look to get as close to 6 off this over as they can. Swepson, no wickets, but 2.2 overs and only 8 runs. He's kept it very, very tight. Cartwright gives himself some room. Pulls it out to deep mid-wicket for 1. Oh, you can just feel it. You can just feel it here for the Stars. That power surge. It's coming. Next over, I reckon. Next over, they take it. Stoinis guides this out for another single. 4 ones. This is not bad. This is not bad. I've tipped the Stars to win, but obviously the Brisbane Heat are my team. I would not at all be unhappy to get a tip wrong for my team to be victorious. We'll have to see how it all plays out. Three for 110. Swepson, final delivery of his 3rd over, and it's another single. They'll be quite satisfied with that. The Stars, 6 off the over. 3 overs, none for 12 for Swepson. He's kept it very, very tight, and they're just happy to see him off. That 6 runs is a bonus. All right, let's see if I was correct. Let's see if I was correct here. Do they call the power surge? Stoinis is on strike to start the over. Or does Hilton Cartwright need a few more deliveries? He's only been out there for 5 balls. Will they want to give him just one more? Stoinis, 26 of 16. Well, there we go. Glenn Maxwell agrees with me. They should have taken it this over. Xavier Bartlett back into the bowling attack. 1 for 11 of 2 overs so far. Oh, here we go. The power surge has been called. It is surge time. Well, there you go. I tell you what. Not for nothing, but to have called it early and, my opinion, be backed up by Glenn Maxwell, that's a little bit of a proud moment for me. Stoinis versus Bartlett. Well, this could very well be where the game is won and lost. The power surge is always so important. Stoinis, 26 off 16, has well and truly got his eye in. Bartlett puts it onto the legs, and Stoinis puts it straight down the throat of the man at deep mid-wicket. And the first delivery of the power surge. Stoinis has picked out deep mid-wicket, and he's on his way back, and the crowd is stunned into silence. Brisbane Heat are on top now, officially, with that one. The power surge, the big moments. And that is a massive, massive wicket. The set batsman is gone. Ball number 1 of the surge. Unreal. That is the worst possible result for the Melbourne Stars. Fantastic stuff, though, for the Brisbane Heat. The defending champions under strength. I mean, 4 or 5 players absent. They are the very definition of under strength. But they find themselves on top here. That is a massive wicket. Bo Webster comes to the crease. 2 fresh batsmen out there, basically. Bartlett drifts onto the legs, but there's protection out there at long leg. Just a single. What did you miss? Well, Marcus Stoinis. Well, first of all, you missed me predicting well in advance when the power surge would be called, and Glenn Maxwell agreeing with me. That was the first thing you missed. And then they called the power surge right when Maxie and I agreed upon it should be called, and Stoinis, with the very first delivery of the surge, picks out the man at deep mid-wicket and is now back in the dugout. 4 for 112. And with that wicket, this game just shifts in favour of the Brisbane Heat as Bartlett in again. Drops it in short, pulled away by Cartwright, picks out the fielder again. And a wicket and 2 runs off the opening 4 balls of the power surge. Oh, they couldn't have asked for anything better here, the Brisbane Heat. And I have never been happier to be losing a tip. It's always good when it's your team. You don't mind losing. Webster goes on the ramp, gets it over the top. The ramp has been the go-to. A lot of runs have been in behind the keeper. And that is a crucial boundary. I mean, very crucial boundary. They can't be going less than 6. Less than 6 in a power surge. So that was a critical boundary, and they need another one here. Bartlett, his last delivery of the 3rd over is full. Outside off. Edged. No, that's the bat on the pitch. There was a noise, but just like we saw last night, it was bat on pitch and a dot ball to finish. 6 runs and a wicket off the first over from the power surge. I reckon I need a graphic. What do you reckon about this, Michelle? We need a graphic, because you know how on the TV broadcast, when the power surge is taken, there's a lightning graphic that displays down the bottom over the top of the scoreboard. I reckon we need something like that, but it'll be the power surge, but instead of the lightning bolt, it'll be surge from System of a Down. Paul Walter, the big fella, the big man, all 9 feet tall of him, Paul Walter to bowl. This is an interesting choice. You've got two fresh batsmen out there since Stoinis threw his wicket away, but this is still, for mine, a very interesting call because Walter, with the field up, could absolutely get tonked here. Liam over on the TikTok says, I watched this stream as well as the TV broadcast because you are ahead of Fox Cricket. Oh, I'm an oracle from the future. Big Paul Walter, 2 singles to start the over. Drops it in short. Pulled away. And it can't beat the fielder out there at long leg. Fantastic work in the outfield again from the Heat. One thing you've got to applaud Brisbane here. Their effort in the outfield tonight has saved quite a few runs. And we haven't seen an injury yet. And fingers crossed that we don't. 4 from the opening 3 balls. Slower, short ball. And Cartwright just pulls it away for 1. This is good bowling from Walter. Four for 122. So they're definitely going to get to their 140. I always say, I've said every BBL game so far, you get to 140. That's your first target. 140 is something to bowl at least. As Walter bangs it in short again, Webster just hoiks it away down the ground. Very, very straight for 4. UFC OnlyFans, ahoy there. I did see that, Michelle. I was trying my best to not get drawn into conversation about it too much. Webster lifts this one away to square leg. They'll come back for 2. Because I hand drew the Alara emoji, and I think it is freaking adorable. But then I might be a little biased. Liam on TikTok says, I hate supporting the Stars. You love them or you hate them. Well, to be honest, Liam, I mean, that's every supporter base, isn't it? I go for the Brisbane Heat. I am also the Brisbane Heat's biggest critic. That's just the nature of supporting a team. It shows your passion. Kuhneman back into the attack. Gets the bottom edge from Cartwright as he slashes at this outside off stump. In behind the keeper for 1. They've got protection back there. Webster turns it away from 1 onto the leg side. 4 for 130, 16.2 overs gone. That run rate again has dropped in below 8. 150, 160 is what I said quite a few overs ago as Cartwright spanks this down the ground. And that is a very relieving boundary Boy, did they need that. Wickets in hand. I mean, they really need to start swinging for the fences in these final 3 overs. 160, 170. Yeah. I said 150 a few overs ago. They could still be on here. 6 wickets in hand. They could still be easily on for 160, 170, which is looking like it'd be a decent score. Webster down the ground to long on, just the single. They've lifted that run rate up about up above 8. Yeah, well, we've seen from the opening games. I've got it up here on the screen. I'll drag it over here where I can see it a little bit better. So match 1, the Scorchers won with 150. Match 2, 172 was the winning score. And of course, yeah, match 3, 183 was the winning score. So yeah. 170, 160, 170 odd would be, they'd be in the game. 180, they would be over the moon. 3 overs to go, though. Swepson back into the attack. Well, they're only going to get 6 at most off this one. Swepson has bowled extremely well, and I think they'll be happy with just 6. Three overs remaining. They'll need to do the reverse sweep. Gets the top edge. There's the wicket for Swepson. Well, that was just stupid from Hilton Cartwright. I'm sorry, but that was just stupidity. Reverse sweep. Top edge. Straight to the man there on the circle's edge. Common sense needed to prevail there. I understand there's only 3 overs left. They need to start playing their shots. But Swepson, before that delivery, was none for 12 or 3.2. They are not getting Swepson away tonight. Just push the singles. Be happy with 6 runs off him. If you can get 6 runs off him, be content with that. And target the final 2 overs. Hilton Cartwright, though, has thrown his wicket away. An absolute gift there for Swepson and the Brisbane Heat. And this is the most ridiculous commercial I've ever seen in my life. What a bunch of wankers. Australian Idol. Tom Curran comes to the crease. And he's under a lot of pressure. Swepson drifts onto the legs, turned away for 1. .3 overs gone. They just needed to see Swepson out. He's bowling too well tonight to be taking him on with stupid reverse sweeps. Hilton Cartwright, if he could have his time over again. Webster turns it to square leg for 1. Two balls left in Swepson's spell. 3.4 overs, 1 for 14. He has bowled so well. Floats this one up. Curran. Chance of a run out. A direct hit would have had him. But they're through for the single. A direct hit, and he was gone here. Was a wild throw, though. Oh, he's out by a mile. Out by a mile. He didn't even need to do that. Just get it to the keeper. Get it to the man with the gloves. Swepson's final ball is turned away down the leg side for one. Swepson, 4 overs, 1 for 15. What a performance. Stepped up right when his team needed him because they are very, very weakened in the bowling attack with the absence of Spencer Johnson. And Swepson needed to step up, and he has done just that. What a performance that he has put in. 2 overs remaining, and the Stars have got to swing for the fences now when we come back. So 2 overs remain here for the Stars. 5 for 144. So they've got to the 140, which is what I've said every single game so far. I said is your first target. Get to your 140. You've at least got something to bowl at. Bartlett starts with a wide, and that's wide again. Webster's reached for it and gone after it. He could easily have let it go for another wide, but he's decided to play at it. Lifts it over mid-off for 2. But if they can get themselves up here to 160, 170 would be a huge bonus. 180 would be out of this world for the Stars. They're certainly in the game, in my opinion. Well and truly in the game. Whoops. What does the bookie say? We're always curious to keep an eye on this. It swings constantly throughout a match. Slower ball, up outside off. Oh, going for the one-handed catch was Swepson. They'll come back for a second. That's well run. So, for the... betting suspended at the moment. The betting is suspended at the moment, so I can't tell you who the favourite is with the bookies right now. But the TV coverage, they've got their win percentage, that their win viz, or whatever they call it, that alters constantly throughout the match. We just keep an eye on the bookmaker odds. Bartlett, full, drifts onto the legs, but there is the man there at short fine leg. And they'll come through for a single. Five for 149, 18.3 gone. So, yeah, look, 160 is well and truly on here. We could be in for another good finish. Early wickets will put the Heat under big pressure. Full ball. Was it over waist height? We saw a no ball the other night. This one seems all good. No call from the umpire. The 150 is up. 18.4 over. It's gone. 2 left. 2 for 24 for Bartlett. He's bowled well. He's made the breakthroughs. Ball. And straight. Just a single. One ball left here for Xavier Bartlett. 2 for 25. Bowled really well. As they've stepped up the absence of Spencer Johnson I was concerned about for the Heat. But they really have stepped up here. Bartlett and Swepson especially. Bowled him. Clean bowled. Curran's gone. The reverse commentator's curse. Xavier Bartlett gets his third. A full ball. Perfectly yorks him. Curran steps away to try and give himself some room that was never there. And it hits right on the base of off stump. Clean bowled. Xavier Bartlett takes the wicket. 6 for 151. Oh, the Heat are on top here. I have to call it. I might be a little biased. I might be just a little biased, but I'm calling the Heat on top here. Well, isn't this interesting? Let me tell you that in the match betting on Sportsbet, they couldn't disagree with me anymore. They could not be more complete and total opposite of what I've just said as Hamish McKenzie comes out to the crease. I've got to grab a photo of that. That's always hilarious. Yeah, the bookies are completely against my opinion because they've got the Melbourne Stars at 155 and the Heat rank outsiders at $2.40. Webster hooks this away out to the square boundary on the leg side. They'll come back for 2. And it's Big Paul Walter bowling at the death here. I find that very interesting. Like 153 is a defendable score, and they'll end up around 160. But geez, I would not have had such a discrepancy in the odds. 155 for the Stars, 240 for the Heat. I mean, I know that I've said that the Brisbane Heat's batting lineup is weak as it is, and comparatively, and it's weakened even further with the absence of Colin Munro. But still, I wouldn't have thought that this is a dead set certainty from here for the Stars. Four deliveries left in the innings, though. What can they come up with? Slower ball, hanging it outside off stump, and out to deep point for 1. Ollie is the best. Ahoy, mate. Whatever makes you happy, sir. Whatever makes you happy, I am happy to hear it. Cheers to Ollie. And that's through the gap. Hamish McKenzie out to cow corner for 4. And that was a glorious stroke. The 160 is up. This is going to be a very, very tight finish. Yeah, I think this game is very delicately poised. We're in for another good one, I believe. Walter just hangs this one outside off. Gets away with it. A single to mid-off. Well, there you go. 165 is the average. 165 is the average here. They'll be thereabouts, the Stars. Final ball of the innings. Walter drops it in short. And a bottom edge. Down to short fine leg for a single. Six for 162 here. The Stars finish 8.10. The run rate. The target has been set. Can the Brisbane Heat come up with it? Oh, boy, I don't know. Colin Munro's a big out. I'm relatively unconvinced with their batting lineup. But we'll see. We're certainly in for an interesting call in this run chase. Ollie is the best, says, who's a cheeky monkey, out of Jacob, Kurt, Jonathan, Lee, Harrison, Reed, Ollie, Felix, Keelan, and 2, and my girlfriend, Jacayla. Have a guess. Well, I'll tell you what. The name Reed leaps out at me, but I'll also tell you what. Had a mate about 6 years ago, a college friend. His name was 2, probably still is. But his name was 2, and he was a cheeky bugger. So I might have to say 2, you cheeky monkey. All right, Waste of World of Sports, innings break. The innings break here. Be back in 5. For the run chase, can this understrength Brisbane Heat team pull off the unthinkable? We'll find out in about 5 minutes' time. Catch you then, yes. All right, Waste of Water Sports. Welcome back. Innings break here. 6 for 162. The Stars have put on a score that they can defend. That's for certain. Very defendable score. Can the Brisbane Heat chase this one down? It's going to be tough. Really is going to be tough. Especially with their absences in the batting lineup. But we'll see. One has to have faith. I've tipped... One has to have faith. I tipped the Stars to win tonight. Oh, dear. That's hilarious. So, I didn't think it was as clear-cut as the bookies were making it seem. The Stars, though, have opened up a little bit here. 160. The Heat have come in a bit to $2.30, but still... The opening overs could be key here. With Colin Munro out, those opening overs become very, very important indeed. They're important anyway, but even more so, not losing wickets might be the key for the Heat. But what concerns me, being a long-time Brisbane Heat supporter, is that they get a little bit too casual with these run chasers in the past. They're the defending champions, so I need to have faith in them. But they've let me down so many times in the past, and it's been on the back of run chasers that they've either been way too casual or they've gone unnecessarily hard out of the gate. One can never tell with this team. It's a Waste of Water Sports tipping contest. It's not too late to join, but obviously if you did join now, you'd be starting behind the 8 ball a little bit. You're a few games behind, unless you're already a member at tipping.cricket.com.au, and the join code for our Wasted Water Sports League is, grabbing it here, invite there we go, 5YM02WUZ. So I'll paste that into the chat rooms. Wasted Water Sports tipping contest, completely free to join. We do it for the NRL every season, and we're doing it for the first time here for the BBL, the first time we're covering the BBL, so it makes sense that it's the first time we'd be tipping it as well. Wow, that was an impressive looking lightning strike there. So currently in the Wasted Water Sports tipping contest, only 3 of us sitting on a perfect round. Which is myself, no surprise there, Nolsey, and Michelle. Well done, Michelle. But yes, in fairness, we did have a couple of late arrivals there. Nate, for example. Sound less surprised, please. No, I purposely sounded surprised. So yes, that's there for you to join if you would like to. Completely free to join. A few games behind to start off with, but plenty of time to catch up. The Big Bash I'm pretty sure goes midway through January, so or early January. Plenty of time to mount a comeback and get yourself back up towards the top there, especially when I start. Always about mid-season, whether it be the NRL, and sometimes it works out for the NRL, but it's usually about mid-season where I start developing grudges against certain teams, or I start tipping based with my heart rather than my head. So I'm sure that there's a few others just like me. There'll be chances to catch up as the season ticks on. Can you even call it a season? I suppose you can call it a season. BBL 14. Surprisingly, really enjoying it. What I love about this is you sort of go into things unknown. Like we did the Jake Paul Mike Tyson boxing match. Completely unknown. We had never done boxing on the channel before. I'll never do boxing on the channel ever again after what we saw, but still, it's the excitement of the unknown, isn't it? We had no idea how that was all going to turn out. Well, I had kind of an idea. I had been saying for weeks in the lead up that Jake Paul doesn't do fights that he's not contracted to win. So we sort of knew somewhat it'd be pretty farcical. But anyway, not the point. The point is, Big Bash didn't really have any idea what to expect. We're a rugby league / rugby union channel primarily. Obviously, that's what we've built all our support and all our numbers off of. So to commit to an entire season of BBL was a big thing, and I've been enjoying it so far. All right, let's go. Run chase. The Brisbane Heat need 163 to win. Jack Wood and Jimmy Pearson opening. Interesting to see how they go about this. I can actually understand why the Stars are slightly ahead with the bookies. Early wickets will be key. Woods on strike, drifting onto the legs immediately. Turned away to deep fine leg for a single. Woods off the mark. Pearson will take the strike. And Milne just a little loose there to start. Jimmy Pearson on strike. Oh, he has a little push at this outside off. Pearson not comfortable in the slightest. Gets away with it. That's well bowled from Milne. So 162 off 118. That's the equation here for the Heat. 162 off 118. And that's wide down leg side. Pearson just watches it go through. Lifts the bat out of the way. And that's an easy decision there for the umpire. A wide ball. And a gift for the Heat. Jimmy Pearson will be an interesting one to keep an eye on because his role in the Brisbane Heat batting lineup is usually just the support role. As this edged off the outside edge, Milne appealing. The umpire is unmoved. Will they call the review here? There was definitely a noise. Pearson seems completely uninterested, but Stoinis calls for the review. There was a clear noise. Big advantage to the Stars if they get the wicket early. It was worth the review anyway for the Stars, even if this does not work out for them. Well worth reviewing. There was a clear sound. Was it bat or was it pad? And there's been issues. Every match so far, there's been issues with getting to the DRS. It's been very slow getting to the footage for some reason. So Milne bangs it in, half volley, and it's pad. I think he's missed it. The noise was off the back pad. Unless there is just a feather of a touch there. And it's a mile away from the bat. Jimmy Pearson survives. The Stars have burnt their challenge, but I mean, in fairness here, the bowler should have seen that. The bowler himself, he's going through his follow-through, I suppose. In complete and total fairness, the bowler is following through, maybe not necessarily seeing exactly what's going on, but the bowler himself had the best view of that, and that has missed the bat by a mile. Jimmy Pearson survives. None for two to start here for the Heat. Milne, and again, wide down the leg side. That's the biggest wide of the night. Liam on TikTok, remember me? Yes. You posted about being a Stars supporter like 1, 2, 3 chats back. Oh, and just having a little dab at this outside off stump there, Pearson. And extending beyond that, they're your Speedy Liam, right? Speedy Gonzalez Liam. Whoops, I've nearly fallen over. That would have been embarrassing. One dot ball, wide, dot ball, wide, dot ball. Rocks and diamonds at the moment here for Milne. None for three here, the Brisbane Heat. In the opening over and easily surviving a DRS. Jimmy Pearson struggling at the moment, though, struggling to get anywhere near contact. There we go, a little bit more solid, just pushing this to the offside for no run. But a good start. Well, I say good start. Good start based on the amount of runs that they gave away. Only 3. But it really was a rocks and diamonds over there from Adam Milne. Now, this is interesting. This is very, very interesting, if you ask me. But I find stuff like this interesting. So the bookmakers have got the Melbourne Stars clear-cut favourites right now. $1.48 are the live odds. Brisbane Heat rank outsiders at $2.60. But the crickinfo.com Win probability has the Brisbane Heat at 52.54%. So the bookmakers have got the Melbourne Stars clear-cut winners. Crick Info's win probability has the Heat slightly ahead as Stoinis comes into the bowling attack. Marcus Stoinis to bowl the second over. Starts with a dot. And again, much like the Stars innings, especially early on, the batsman struggling to make contact. Lots of swings and misses, or just little pokes and misses. Straight ball there from Stoinis. On target with the stumps. Wood just defends it back down the pitch. No run. Speedy Liam, you might be interested in this. The return of Intoxigamer. Early 2025, I am rebirthing my gaming channel, where my YouTube journey all started. Short ball, Wood pulls it away for 4. That's a beautiful shot. Stoinis bangs it in a little too short and drifting a little too close to the pads there. None for 7. Stoinis. Outside off stump this time. Gets the under edge. And it's edged back to short fine leg. Just the one. 155 off 110. I mean, you would think with wickets in hand, that would be very easy. Especially going into a power surge and going into those back overs. Wickets will be the key here. The Stars, you just get the feeling the Stars will likely have to bowl the Brisbane Heat out here as Pearson guides this down the leg side. Very, very fine past the keeper for 4. It was far from convincing, but they'll take it. They will absolutely take it, the Brisbane Heat. Well, it's leg buys. Leg buys is the official call from the umpire. Stoinis just drifting down onto the pads a little bit too much. That's better. Straight and full. And Pearson puts it straight to mid-on. No run. And Stoinis finishes the over. 5 runs from it. None for 12 here, the Heat. Current run rate 6. Required run rate 8.38. Hard to get a gauge at the moment, really. The Crick Info has still got the Brisbane Heat as slight favourites. The bookmakers have, well, it's tightening up a little bit. The Heat have come in a bit to $2. Well, very briefly at $2.20. The bookies have still got the Stars on top. Crick Info's got the Heat slightly ahead. I've got it even Stevens. Milne back in for over 2. Short. Pulled away by Wood. Into the gap for 4. Too short there from Milne. Too short, too straight. And a gift boundary. Very nicely played there. Jack Wood goes to 10 off 6. And the Heat go to none for 16. And again, it's short. Pulls it again, but this time, oh, it's in the gap again and 4 more. Well, this is poor bowling from Milne. This is really poor bowling. 8 runs off the first 2 balls. And the Crick Info win probability hugely in favour of the Heat now after those back-to-back boundaries. Milne, short again, gets away with this one. It was a little bit straighter and a dot ball. Very valuable dot ball. Oh, thank you very much, Liam. Milne, and again, short, but straight. And it's just tapped down for 1. None for 12 off his 1.4. Milne. None for 21. The Heat. Pearson looks for the ramp. Tries to put it over the head of the keeper. Whoa. They got to see this work out so well for the Stars throughout their batting innings. Pearson's just decided to try it, but just got himself caught in no man's land there and misses it completely. Final ball of the over incoming. Milne. 9 from it, but some valuable dot balls. This one's a half volley, and Pearson says, thank you very much. Well, that's just really, really poor bowling. There's no two ways about it. That is just really poor bowling from Milne. A half volley right on the stumps. It's in everybody's swinging arc there. And Pearson, just a natural drive right in the arc. And it's gone all the way. That's 6. Oh, no. Just bounces inside the rope. 1 bouncing over. 4 runs. But that is just such poor bowling from Milne. That was a shocker of an over. None for 25 after 3. And the Heat need 138 off 102. Tom Curran into the bowling attack. And he starts on the legs. Well, he gets away with it. A slower ball on the pads. And he's gotten away with murder there, Curran. Wood should have put that one away. Very even start here, both teams. Curran drifts onto the pads again. Pulled away just for the 1. Protection out there, a deep fine leg. So just a very delicately poised game at the moment here, the Heat. If we go back to the Stars batting innings, they were just lurking always around that 7.5 to 8.5 run rate. The Heat here at 7.8. Very, very similar innings. Slower ball. Pearson turns it away to the leg side for 1. Thinking about a second, but that would have been stupid. Common sense prevails. And they're happy with 1. $136 needed off 99 deliveries. Oh, a nipper. I've got to send that to my sometimes co-host. He'll get a kick out of that. Turn to the leg side for just one. None for 28, and the Heat controlling this well at the moment. Just hovering around the required run rate. Not taking any risks. Pearson charges down the pitch, misses it. Right when I said they weren't taking any risks. Jimmy Pearson does his best to do something stupid. One delivery left here for Curran. Bangs it in short. Pearson pulls it away. Just the single out to deep square leg. None for 29. Very, very evenly poised here. Both of these innings. Remember the Stars. They started around the 8 runs. And the Brisbane Heat pretty much matching that at the moment. None for 29. 7.25. Oh, cheers for the gift there, Speedy Liam. A football. If only there was a cricket ball, right? But yes, cheers. $7.25 is the current run rate. 8.37 is the required. Webster into the bowling attack. Full. Sliced away from Pearson. It's safe. They'll come back for 2. Wickets is the order of the day here for the Stars. That's what they need. Wickets. Jack Wood is appearing on Australian Idol. God, how completely uninteresting. Drifting onto the pads. Pearson just guides it down. It'll be fielded at fine leg. But they'll come back for 2. And again, just really poor bowling. No line here. The line and length is completely off. Four runs off the opening 2 balls. That's better. Straight and full. And a dot ball. Just fended away to the offside. That's the line and length. I swear to God, I am not actively cheering against my own team. I've got to consider the tippy comp, right? XJC, ahoy, mate. Webster drifts onto the pads again, gets away with it as Pearson looks to play straight. It was very premeditated. And just the single. But again, this is just... I can't stress enough that this is just really poor bowling. They really need to tighten things up here, the Stars. I mean, it's not like they're leaking runs or anything. The Brisbane Heat, 7.28 is their run rate at the moment. Is nearly chopped on there from Wood. But he taps the ball away, protects his stumps. But yeah, as I was saying, they're not bowling well, the Stars, but they're also, it's not like they're leaking runs. 7.03 now, that run rate drops down to. The required rate from the Heat is 8.5. But it's just the lack of threat. The lack of threat for wickets at the moment with the line and length that they're bowling. They really need to tighten things up. Webster, that's better. Beats the bat. and 2 dot balls to finish the over. 5 are gone, none for 34. 129 off 90 is, I mean, it should be, with wickets in hand, it should be easy going for the Heat, but wickets are going to fall. It's as simple as that. T20 cricket, wickets will fall. It's just a matter of when. So that can turn around so quickly. As Hamish McKenzie comes into the bowling attack. I'm not allowed to say, Liam. McKenzie just slowing things down here, going to the spin. It worked well for the Heat when they were bowling, so these will be some very interesting overs. Pearson turns this around to short fine leg for 1 to start with. Floats this one up outside off, and that has been tonked down the field by Wood. A 6 straight down the ground. Well, the Brisbane Heat. No Colin Munro. No worries at the moment. Jack Wood, huh? Who is this kid? Jack Wood, completely unheard of. And he is substituting in here for Colin Munro. A wannabe idol, apparently, yes. McKenzie overcompensates, drifts onto the legs, quick single taken. $121 off 87. Wickets becoming crucial now for the Stars. They need a breakthrough. Get a fresh batsman out there. McKenzie tosses this one up. Pearson lifts it down to long on for 1. Do they push for 2? They do. That's very well run. A good throw would have had him. A good throw might have been close. But as it turns out, it was a shocking throw. And it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a stoppage here. Pearson diving to get back in at the keeper's end. He might be calling for new gloves. McKenzie floats this one up outside off. A swing and a miss. And a dot ball to finish. 11 runs from the over. Oh, we're in for another good finish, aren't we? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. BBL 14 has been delivering in spades in the opening 3 games. Why not make it 4 in a row? None for 45. Cricinfo's win probability hugely in favour of the Brisbane Heat. But I guarantee you that that is based solely around the fact that no wickets have fallen. Remember the Stars lost an early one. Tom Rogers. Pearson goes on the ramp. One bouncing over the fence for 4. Well, they've got their eye in now. The Heat. And I'm sorry, Melbourne Stars fans, but the Heat are looking good. And I am regretting changing my tip. I am very much regretting at the moment. Anything can still happen from here on in. But so much regret from changing my tip against my team. Very concerned about the injuries, but at the moment, the injuries are not concerning them. This game is still there for the taking, though. Don't you worry. The Heat still not hitting the required run rate just yet. But very, very importantly, no wickets down. Turn to the leg side, pushing for 2. That's well run. That is extremely good running. The 50's up for the Heat, none for 52. Take it from a long-time Brisbane Heat supporter, though. It can go to hell in a handbasket so quickly for this team. So quickly. I never, ever celebrated Brisbane Heat victory until they have hit that winning run. $110 needed off 80. Like, it's pretty comfortable at the moment, though. Pressure on the Stars. They need wickets. Webster with 2 deliveries left gets the bottom edge and no run. Crucial dot balls. As long as there's wickets in hand, it is advantage to the chasing team. Webster drifts onto the pads again. So many of these balls just drifting to the leg side, and they push for 2. That's poor fielding. That is really, really poor fielding. They had no right for 2 runs there. That's extremely well run. Pearson is a little whippet between the stumps there. None for 55. $108 needed of 78 balls, 7.85. The current run rate, 8.3 required. So they're still just hanging in behind that required run rate. They're close enough, more than close enough at the moment. But importantly, as I keep saying, most importantly, wickets in hand. Wickets in hand out the wazoo at the moment. Hamish McKenzie back into the attack. Starts with a dot. Bowls him. Well, there's the wicket. Commentator's curse strikes again. Like bloody clockwork. The cricket commentary curse. And Jack Wood's been clean bowled. He's on his way. Hamish McKenzie put a little extra effort into that one, and it took Wood by surprise. He pushes that one through faster. It slides on, and it cleans up off stump. Beautifully bowled by McKenzie. A huge breakthrough. Woods back in the dugout. 27 of 21. Now let's take a look at what this does to all the percentages and all the odds as the wickets start to fall. My concern at the top of the stream and my reason for the prediction was a perceived lack of depth in the Brisbane Heat batting lineup. So we'll see. Matt Renshaw comes to the crease. Could be the key here. Renshaw and Pearson could be the key partnership. It'll certainly be very important. McKenzie. Renshaw just turns it to the leg side. Just the one. They're not going to get 2 runs. No offense to Matty Renshaw, but Pearson's not going to be pushing for the 2 with Renshaw down the other end. He's just not going to be interested. Three balls left. McKenzie slides this one on. Pearson pulls it from outside off onto the onside for 1. A wicket and 2 runs off the opening 4 balls. This has been a good over from Hamish. Straight ball, slides it on. Renshaw just plays it down to long on. 1 run. Yeah, this game is so nicely poised. I'm so torn at the moment because, as I've said, I'm a Brisbane Heat supporter, so you want to see your team win, and you want to see your team win quite comfortably as Pearson bangs it down the ground to long off for another single. You want to see your team win, but as a content creator, you obviously want to see it go down to the wire as well. Very torn at the moment. And as a tipster, going for the Melbourne Stars in the tipping comp, you've got to factor that into it as well. I'm so torn at the moment in all these different directions. The Brisbane Heat fan in me wants to see the Heat win and win big. The cricket fan in me wants to see a thriller of a finish. And the tipster in me wants the Melbourne Stars to win. So the worm graph has the Heat just trailing at the moment. The required run rate is slowly creeping up towards the 9 and over, which is fine. I mean, anything under 10, I mean, even slightly over 10 in Big Bash, and that'll help. That's 4. Pearson starts with a 4. Cuts it through backward point. And a good start to the over. This is Curran in for his second over. Starting with a 4. He was pretty bang average in his first over as well. And that's better. Straight. Tap down for a single. One for 64, 99 off 70. This could very well be the key partnership. Renshaw back on strike. Curran wide down the leg side. Well, that's a gift. He's just been so loose. Tom Curran drifting down leg side to the right-handers and now drifting down leg side to the left-handers. And we've got a slip in place. Well, this is interesting. They do need wickets. Curran. Inside edge from Renshaw. Past the stumps for 4. Well, that's unlucky for Curran. Fantastic result for the Heat. Renshaw. Very lucky to get away with that one. Nine, 10. 10 from the over so far. Turned away from Renshaw. They might push for 2 here. Just the 1. And that required run rate and current run rate now even almost 8.11 to 8.17. And they need a chunk of wickets here, the Stars. And remember too, like the key could be the Stars just doing really poorly in the power surge. They might have pulsed up in that moment when they were batting. The really, really poor power surge could be what cost them here. But they need a big chunk of wickets, and they need them quick, smart. Last ball of the over. Renshaw on strike. Takes a couple of steps down the pitch and lofts it over the top of Stoinis at mid-on. But he didn't quite get hold of it, and Stoinis restricts it to 2. 14 runs off the over, and the Heat find themselves on top. Well and truly on top. They need wickets now, the Stars. It's become critical, and now even the bookies are on the Brisbane Heat. The bookies are well in favour of the Heat now. The Stars have become rank outsiders. They need wickets, and they need a chunk of them. They need wickets big time. So uninterested are the Melbourne Stars fans in the crowd. You've got people on their phones. You've got people building bucket towers on the fence. They need to bring the crowd into it. They need wickets. Couch into the bowling attack. Bangs it in short and drifts onto the legs. He's got cover out there in deep fine legs, so gets away with it, but lacking the right line and length at the moment here, the Stars bowlers. $89 off 65 required for the Brisbane Heat. Wickets. Crucial for the Stars now. 9.1 overs gone. Renshaw pulls it away in the air, beats the fielder for 4. It was probably closer than he would have wanted. It would have been a miracle of a catch in the outfield, but and again, the Brisbane Heat started over with an early boundary. 1 or 2 deliveries into it. Couch beats him. Fuller ball, straighter ball. Renshaw. Swing and a miss. The current run rate for the first time tonight. Above the required. 1 for 78. Couch. And again, played down the ground by Renshaw for 4. Oh, well, they're cruising it in now, the Heat. They are in absolute cruise control. And quite frankly, this is just poor bowling. The Stars have just not bowled well at all. A half volley right in the arc. Renshaw straight down the ground. A half volley right on the stumps. Thank you very much. I mean, that's just batting practice. That is just absolute batting practice. This is just such poor bowling. Renshaw goes for it. They come through for a quick single. And Couch doesn't even come close to hitting the stumps, which sums up how it's going for the Stars at the moment. The required run rate well under 8 now. They need wickets, the Stars. And there's seagulls everywhere. Seagulls all over the place. And Pearson had to retreat there. Final ball of the over. And it's just punched out to mid-off for a single. Stars were 2 for 76 after their first 10. The Brisbane Heat 1 for 84. But the Stars completely ballsed up their power surge. That's the key here, really. I mean, you anticipate runs off the power surge. The Stars, when you factor in what's happening here, they didn't get it. And Defunk, I believe it was, Defunk said that a 180 was probably the par score, and I'd say that Defunk's looking likely at the moment. The Heat at the moment will chase this down with a good 2 or 3 overs to spare. In absolute cruise control. And it's been on the back of some really poor bowling from the Stars that just haven't got their line and length right. Drifting onto the pads. Absolute gifts. Half volleys full and on the stumps. Half volleys right in the swinging arc. Really poor bowling. But a couple of quick wickets, of course. We know how quickly a game can change. A batch of wickets will swing this game on its head quick smart. But at the moment, the defending BBL champions, reigning and defending champions, the Brisbane Heat, are in absolute cruise mode at the moment. 1 for 84 after 10. 79 of 60 required. I mean, that is just, with 9 wickets in hand, that is just easy going. That many wickets in hand. Stoinis back into the attack. None for 5 off his first over. Those Seagulls are relentless. Pearson on strike. 30 runs off 30 balls. That's a good delivery first up from Stoinis. As the Heat race through for a single. Stoinis in again. Swing and a miss from Renshaw. Well, they're calling for it. The appeal. And it's been given. Marcus Stoinis has made the breakthrough. Well, now it's just got very interesting. Renshaw is gone. 2 for 85. That is a massive breakthrough. Boy, did they need that, the Stars. Well, it's not over yet. Here comes the home team back into it. Renshaw gone. Court Harper bowled Stoinis 18 from 10. 2 for 85. Max Bryant will come out to the crease. And we know Max Bryant, as a long-time Heat supporter, we know that Maxi Bryant is extreme rocks and diamonds. Max Bryant, he only knows one way. He'll have this game won in the next 18 deliveries, or he'll be back in the dugout a couple of balls in. He only has one here. Ball outside off, and Bryant just pushes it to the offside for a single. What a timely breakthrough that was for Marcus Stoinis and the Melbourne Stars. Pearson shuffles across the stumps to give himself room on the leg side. Turns it away for a single. 77 or 76 now. 76 or 56. I'm telling you, this is very delicately poised. Another wicket, especially if it's the wicket of Pearson. Boy, do we have a game on. Ball, and Bryant can't get it through any gap. A dot ball. And this is what happens. You get a fresh batsman out there. He's got to take some time to get his eye in, Maxi Bryant. Two for 87. One ball left here, and Stoinis is over. It's been a good one so far. 3 runs and a wicket, and that's another good delivery. Just turned to the leg side. Do they push for 2? They do. And another good display of running between the wickets there from the Heat. So 5 runs and a wicket there for Stoinis in his second over. 2 for 89. 74 or 54 required. It's still just enough to be awkward. That's the way I would describe this. It's just enough runs to be awkward. And this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. The required run rate has once more drifted out beyond the current run rate. Mackenzie back into the bowling attack. 1 for 15 of 2 overs so far. Just, well, what a start for Pearson. They need to remove Pearson. Hamish Mackenzie with his first ball. He just floats it up onto the legs. And Pearson, the on drive, over the fence for 6. And the Brisbane Heat again starting over with a boundary. Wide outside off, cut away for a single. One hit. And this game swings back in favour of the Heat. 67 of 52. Max Bryant, 3 of 3 so far. 7 off this over. 2 balls in. McKenzie fires this one in. Is it going to be called a wide? Bryant cuts at it and misses. And a dot ball. A critical dot ball. Pretty much they've got to take wickets, the Stars. Bryant turns it away down the leg side. They'll push for 2. They'll only get 1. They've got to get wickets. Basically, 66 or 50 with 8 wickets in hand. They're not going to defend this total without taking wickets. They have to bowl the Brisbane Heat out. Pretty much basically what's happening here. They have to bowl the Heat out. They're not going to win this by defending it. Straight down the ground, Pearson slaps it straight. They'll come back for 2. Ten off the over so far. And this is another good one for the Brisbane Heat. Pearson, 41 off 35 is the key here. McKenzie tosses it up. Bryant rocks onto the back foot, pulls it away for 1. 2 for 100 after 12. Brisbane Heat on top. But another wicket or 2. I know that I keep saying it, but it's true. It is the key right now. Another wicket or 2. And this game takes on a whole new complexion. But as it stands right now, a clear advantage for the Brisbane Heat. As they're going about this run chase really, really well. Really surprisingly controlling it so well at the moment, the Heat. It's not something I expect from them. .63 from 48, but it's the 8 wickets in hand. Stoinis back into the attack. The ramp from Pearson can't beat the keeper. Well, he's nearly just tapped it straight to the keeper. And an interesting shot selection there from Pearson. .21 the current run rate, 8.04 required. The power surge is going to be very, very interesting. Pearson turns it off the legs just for 1. Again, if I just point back to the Melbourne Stars batting innings, and they completely ballsed up the power surge. You just get the feeling that those 2 overs could be the winning of the game for the Heat. Stoinis in again. On the legs, it's going down leg side. He is appealing. He wants the call to Stoinis. Bryant was caught on the pads, but it's drifting way down leg side. A long way down leg side. The Stars, though, they've burnt their review, of course. Stoinis could make the breakthrough here, though. Bryant pulls it away for 1. Only 2 runs from this over so far, and that required run rate, once again, just takes over the current run rate. These are all critical deliveries. The dots, the ones. Drifts onto the legs, beats the bat again. It's a leg by. Pearson looking for 2. They are so desperate for a wicket here, the Stars. And just drifting down leg side again. Stoinis with his last ball. 2.5, 1 for 12. He's bowled well. Leading from the front. Outside off. Bryant goes after it, gets the top edge, and it's going to land safe. They'll come back for at least 2. And 2 runs is what they get. Max Bryant gets away with that one. It was far from convincing. And it's 2 for 105. Oh, this game is just on the edge. Kellaway on to bowl here for the Stars. The 14th over commences. Drifting onto the legs. And again, they get away with it, just a single, but again, it's just really poor bowling. The line and length suffering. In fairness, it was his first ball. I mean, he might fix it up here in the ensuing deliveries, but yeah, it's been hard to watch. Bryant goes straight down the ground for 6. That's a huge hit. A half volley on the stumps. Batting practice for Max Bryant. Advantage Heat once again. All it takes is that one big hit or 1 wicket. 51 or 40, 8 wickets in hand. It's the Heats to lose. And trust me, as a long-time supporter of the Heat, they are capable of it. Very much so. But they don't need to do anything silly now. They've got their runs off this over. Just play each ball to its merit. And a power surge to come as well. Let's not forget that. Power surge still remains. Kellaway bangs this one in. Pearson pulls it away. Can't get it into the gap. There's a lot of seagulls out there defending. They come back for 2. Well run again. The running between the wickets has been the key difference. The most noticeable difference between the 2 batting innings. That running between the wickets has been on point from the Heat. As Pearson creeps ever closer here to his half century. Kellaway beats the bat with his last ball. 11 runs from the over, though. Swings it back in favour of the Heat. 47 or 37 they need. 47 or 36, sorry, rather. 6 overs remain. Yeah, I'm thinking the Stars here probably about 10 to 15 runs too short. The Heat will win it with an over or two to spare. Just the 2 wickets to fall. Drew, Walter, Prestwich, Bartlett, Whitney, Swepson. So, yeah, if they can get into Drew and Walter, Prestwich, the Stars need wickets. All right, Milne, none for 16 off 2. He's back into the attack. They've gone all or nothing here, the Stars. Bangs it in, a dot ball to start. Well fielded. Extremely well fielded at backward point. And a dot ball to start. Just looking for a wicket, looking to tighten things up here. Put the pressure back on that batting team. They still haven't called the power surge. It looks like they're going to leave that to the very end. Milne in again. Drifts onto the legs, and it's turned away from Pearson down a fine leg. Just the one. The current run rate and required run rate starts to get very even again. But with 8 wickets in hand, rather inconsequential. It would have to blow out quite badly. Bryant punches it to the offside. They'll come back for 2 easily. Three runs off the opening 3 balls. They need some dots. Half volley pulled away from Bryant. One bounce to the outfielder. Just the single. Kind of got away with that one. Seven bowlers they've used so far, the Stars. Two deliveries left in this over. Turned away from Pearson. Just the single. Does he push for 2 and get his 50? No. Settles for 1. 49 or 45, Pearson. "42 runs off 31 balls with 8 wickets in hand. They should cruise this in, really, the Heat. Milne's last ball, outside edge for 4. Outside edge for 4, and that turned this over, and they're calling the surge. Pearson's already called the surge for the next over. And that has turned a mediocre over into a huge one for the Brisbane Heat. The edge for 4. No slip in place. Frustration for the Stars. The defending champions well on their way to a victory to start their title defense. And the power surge, yes, we saw it. Jimmy Pearson called it immediately. So here we go. This is the game right now. This is the game. These 2 overs. 38 runs needed. 30 balls remaining. This is the game in the balance. And they've turned to Tom Curran. The winning or losing of the game is here. Curran drifts onto the legs, and Pearson gets his 50 as he just turns it to the leg side. They'll come back for 2. Jimmy Pearson controlling this. And he's going to see this all the way home. 51 or 46 for Jimmy Pearson. It was a shaky start for him. It took him about 7 or 8 balls to get off the mark, if I recall correctly. $36 needed off 29. And a good start to the surge. 2 runs off the first ball. Curran bangs it in short. Pearson pulls it away for 4. Well, the Stars, they completely ballsed up their power surge. And the Brisbane Heat have gone 6 off the first 2 balls. $32 runs off 28 with 8 wickets in hand. It's an easy win here for the Heat. And this is what I get. This is what I get. Injuries aside, this is what I get for tipping against my own team. A slower ball on the legs, Pearson. Do they push for 2? Just the 1. They don't need to push for the 2. Just the 1 is absolutely fine. Well, the Brisbane Heat, defending champions, they've started their campaign with a win. And a comprehensive one at that. Curran drifts onto the legs, and Maxi Bryant puts it over the boundary. Well, one bouncing over the boundary for another 4. They're going to have this one with plenty of balls to spare. Resignation on the faces of the Melbourne Stars players. And a severely depleted and under-strength Brisbane Heat team has made a Colin mockery out of the Melbourne Stars tonight. Slower ball. Still turned away for a single. They can't buy a dot ball here, let alone a wicket, the Melbourne Stars. This is very good signs for the Brisbane Heat. The defending champions. The defending champions have set the bar. Curran, ball outside off stump, and it's pushed away for a single to mid-off. 26 needed off 25 balls, 2 for 137. It is the Brisbane Heat in full command here. Wow, so many players out as well. Like, the Brisbane Heat have so much strength to come back into this squad. Colin Munro, Spencer Johnson. Wow, based on this performance, they'll be near unbeatable this year, the Heat. They have signaled, they've laid down the challenge to the rest of the competition with this performance. Two for 138. And Stoinis comes back into the bowling attack. Even wickets aren't going to save them now, the Stars. Pearson turns it away for one. Yeah, I think we're at the point, in all honesty, 24 needed of 23 balls, 8 wickets in hand. We're at the point where even a hat-trick is not going to save the Stars here. Stoinis bringing himself on, though. And, well, there's a wide outside leg stump, but Bryant stepped across the stumps. So that would be a very harsh call of wide. Maxi Bryant looking for the ramp. It's a dot ball, 24 needed of 22. Stoinis full and deflected off Stoinis' finger. They race through for a single to get Pearson on strike, and Stoinis is hurt. Stoinis might have just dislocated his pinky there. Stoinis gets a burner. Bryant on the straight drive jams it back down the pitch, and that's a broken nail. Oh, that's a broken nail. I can feel that one. Everybody who's ever experienced that can feel that one. He's bowled well, Stoinis. But he's been the only one. To be brutally honest, he really has been the only one. The Melbourne Stars were so poor bowling tonight. Too many deliveries, too many half volleys, too many bloody deliveries drifting onto the pads. It's been batting practice for the Heat. Another dot ball. Can't beat the inner circle. 2 for 140. 23 of 20. I should be excited at my team that I support getting off to such a comprehensive start. But I've ruined it for myself by tipping against them. Stoinis in again, 2 deliveries left, full, and turned away, beats the field, it's misfielded, and that's 4. Well, that just sums it up. That sums it up for the Stars. Pearson picked out the fielder, he misfields it, and it's 4 runs. Straight through the hands. And that just sums up how really piss poor they've been tonight, the Stars. And that is just laziness. Oi! 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 What are you up to? What are you doing? You big bugger. Oh. No more pissing in my studio. Honestly, this one pissed all over the floor in here multiple times. Hey, my studio is not a toilet. Mister. 19 runs needed off 18 balls. And they've turned back to Mackenzie. Reverse sweep dropped. The reverse sweep has been dropped and they get a run from it. And this has just summed it up for the Stars. Maxi Bryant goes on the reverse sweep. That should have been taken. Like, it would have been a great catch. But realistically, should have been taken. It was in. It popped straight back out. And now Pearson down the pitch for 6. They should have had the wicket, the Stars. Pearson gets back on strike, advances down the pitch to make it a half volley and spanks it straight down the ground for 6. 12 needed off 16. McKenzie tosses this one up. Dot ball. Crucial. Oh, he's misfielded. They'll get a single. Well, it's all gone to hell so quickly here for the Stars. These past few overs. $11 or 15. Bryant goes after it. It's up in the air. And it's in the gap. And one bounce over the rope. The under-strength Brisbane Heat have set the bar. Okay, the Melbourne Stars have been shithouse. But an under-strength, severely depleted, reigning champions have set the bar. They have cruised to victory tonight. And this has been the only game out of the 4 so far where it's been an easy win. Every other game so far has gone down to the wire to some respect. The Brisbane Heat have set the bar, the defending champions. There's Max Bryant. Square of the wicket. They'll come back for 2. Two overs to go. 3 runs needed. 8 wickets in hand. Domination. This is very exciting. Look, I've learnt my lesson. I will never back against my own team ever again. I don't care if they've got 4 players out injured. This is very good signs for the Brisbane Heat. I have never been happier in my life to lose a tip. Because this is very good signs for my team. The Brisbane Heat, severely depleted, and they have just won this so comfortably. Wide and outside of stump, and there's the win. Or is it? Not quite. They'll come back for 3. Well, they might come back for 3. They are going to come back for 3. They didn't want another delivery. Well, this is either a sign of a very strong Brisbane Heat squad or the Melbourne Stars are in for the spoon. Time will tell what the actual answer to that is. But the Brisbane Heat, they have started their title defense with a comprehensive win. The first comprehensive win of the tournament so far. We have had 3 really good games. This is the first game that's really been shithouse and a no contest. The previous 3 games have gone down to the wire. The Brisbane Heat have just walked this one in. A comprehensive victory. All right, it is pretty clear that the dogs in the house want to play. So we'll have, there's not much to talk about from this game anyway. Brisbane Heat, injury ravaged, way too strong. The Melbourne Stars may be in for the spoon. All right, Waste of Water Sports, thank you so much for your company. Very much appreciated. As always, the Brisbane Heat win by 8 wickets. A comprehensive victory. The run of good games of the Big Bash is over. We saw 3 absolute crackers and an absolute walkover here tonight. The Heat winning by 8 wickets. And the defending champions, well, maybe a spoon is in the future of the Melbourne Stars. We'll see. Time will tell. All right, I'm getting hurried along here. There are fur babies in the house that are demanding all kinds of attention. One wants food. They both want to play. I've just destroyed the microphone. My bad. Waste of Water Sports, thank you so much for your company. Very much appreciate it. Catch you guys next time. Thank you so much, and until then, cheers.